Hi travelers, Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot. It is January 20th, 2017, Inauguration Day. I am coming to you today with a general reading for Scorpio Sun, Moon, and Rising. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading, so the messages will not resonate with everyone. I do ask that you check back to your Moon and Rising sign as they are posted. In order for you to gain any insight into your specific situation does require a personal reading. How the personal readings work, I take your birth date and the birth date of any other people that are involved and meditate on those dates with the cards, and then I can answer questions specific to you. If you think might be interested in a personal reading, you can always click on the banner that appears in the right hand. There's several of them that will show up. You click on those, it'll take you directly over to the website. I do ask before you book and or make any payment that you do read the important information on booking, because that will explain a lot to you. I do readings 6 days a week. That's both for private video readings and readings by phone. We are in the midst of our Jupiter, we're 3 months into, I think, Jupiter and Libra, maybe 4 months into our Jupiter and Libra cycle. That lasts from, started October 2015, and I think it'll be over 2016, October 2016. I think I gave the wrong date on another video. But anyway, we are also still under the Mercury direct shadow phase. Mercury went direct on January 9th, but it's still going to take a couple more weeks for it to build up to speed. So that direct shadow phase will end on the 28th of January. On the same day, we will have a new moon in Aquarius, and we have already had our full moon in Cancer on January 12th. So I have done some meditation on the cards and done some pre-shuffling, and the first two cards that have come out for you, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, are the Nine of Wands and the Seven of Wands. Now, welcome new subscribers. Thank you for joining. Diehards for sticking with me these past couple of years. I thank you for coming with me into 2017. I do have some great new things coming for you. I've been working real hard behind the scenes. I ain't done yet. When the time comes, I'll let you guys know. But anyway, for those of you who are new, the wands are fire energy, and they represent your desire, your passion, your fighting spirit. You know, what does it take for me to get this thing done? Or what kind of energy, what do I need to kind of let go and focus my energy on something else? And in looking at the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Wands is all about being wounded. It is about taking a step back from a situation and giving it some trying to get some perspective on it before you decide to move forward with your next thing. And as we can see here, the imagery of the card, there are 8 wands behind this guy, and those are sort of like the obstacles that you've had to come through, okay? All of the different battles that you've had to fight. And here we are, he's holding on to this 9th wand. He's taking a break. You can see his head is bandaged. But this is also the card about saying, don't assume that. Sometimes this card can be about waiting for the other shoe to drop. But it can also be about, don't assume that you already know how a situation's going to come about, because this card can also be about someone who's ready to get back in with that fighting spirit. Well, sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. I do feel that for some of you, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, that you are really, it's a 9. And 9 speak to, it goes back to the Hermit. The Hermit is the number 9. So in one respect, it's telling me that perhaps for many of you, you felt very, very alone and isolated in dealing with all of the things that you've had to deal with. And you're still, kind of struggling through. Maybe some of you are just kind of taking a break, before you get back in. But I also see here with this 7, 7s represent internal conflicts. It's a spiritual number. And this is about the soul going through some kind of conflict. Typically, I will see this card come up when and the wands come up when there's some type of spiritual growth trying to occur. And the 7s represent struggling internally with the things that you have to do. Now, the proper meaning or the regular interpretation of this card is threat, determination, standing your ground. Sometimes these can be other projects that have come up, or other people trying to put their 2 cents worth in. It could be, again, obstacles and delays. This could be in any sphere of your life. And this is you standing at the top, just trying to beat back those things, perhaps because you need the space, or you need to clear these things off of your plate so that you can go forward. And I would say that going from a 9 to a 7, that perhaps maybe some of you have gotten 2 things under your belt that you feel, okay, pretty comfortable about, but there's 5 other things that are going on at perhaps at the same time. I always say with this card that you're in a better position than you realize. And the reason why I say that is because he's standing on a hill. So in other words, he has the upper hand or the advantage. This card can sometimes show up when you have to be defiant against what other people say or what they think or what they want to do. You really have to stand your ground and persevere in your beliefs and your ideas and your perception. And sometimes, of course, when you don't agree with other people, that can create a lot of conflict. And sometimes you have to be aggressive and defiant in order to stand true and firm in what it is that you believe and what you think. So we're going to go ahead and lay 9 more cards. I'm sorry. I can't even add the rest of the cards. I've been so busy. I don't know what's happening. And, oh, let me light my candle so we can get the good energy going here. I think a lot of you Scorpios are feeling some effects or precursors to Jupiter moving into your sign, October 2017. You get to host Jupiter for a year. And this Saturn and Sagittarius has been really tough, I think, for everybody. And it will be leaving, I think, May of 2018. But Jupiter comes once every 12 years. And after you've had that tough Saturn transit, it is such a welcome relief. It really, really is. And it's going to free up a whole lot of energy for you and bring in a whole new bunch of opportunities. So if you're still struggling, just try to hang in there. Better days are ahead. Really, they are. So let's lay the rest of the cards and see what they have to say. Now remember, please remember that no matter what I tell you I see in the cards, it is not set in stone because everybody has free will. We all have choices. Even if we think we don't have a choice, that's a choice, okay? To think that. So, rest of the cards are the 6 of Wands. Indeed, remember I was saying that I thought that maybe some of you have gotten a few things under your belt, okay? And you're kind of moving forward with that. So, this card is about a victory. But it also says not to forget those people or those experiences that got you to this particular victory. In other words, if it was real tough, kind of look at those things that have been tough and realize that you got kind of been forged through the fire with that, okay? And maybe it's made you a little bit tougher and a little bit more whatever it is that you need. So you have achieved some kind of victory. There's a lot of wands here, so I would tend to think the wands typically will represent work endeavors. So for some of you, this has been, some things going on in your career or work. The Queen of Wands. The 3 of Wands. Jesus, look at all of these wands. And then the King of Coins. The Lovers. The 10 of Cups. And then the Empress card. And underneath the deck, I have the 3 of Wands. All right. Now, right in the center, okay, before I get started, the tarot is broken up into 2. God, look at all the wands. The tarot is broken into 2 separate groups. We have what are known as the major arcana, and they're going to have names like the Empress, the Lover, the Tower, the Devil. And these are about spiritual lessons and life lessons, okay? And then we have what are known as the pip cards. So these are going to be your numbered cards, 9, 7, 3, 6, 10. Okay. They also include the aces and they include the court cards. So here we have a Queen of Wands and a King of Pentacles. Now, let me take a look here. I feel for some of you, this is about the Venus and the Jupiter in Libra cycle. Libra is about marriages, committed relationships, business partnerships. But it also speaks about friendships and familial relationships. It is about partnerships in general, okay? The reason why the seventh house is known as the house of marriage is because there are legalities involved. Typically, when you get married, there is a name change, or you accrue property together, or you have accounts together, or you have, so there are legalities involved in that. But the seventh house can also become the house of open enemies, okay? And the reason why that is because Libra requires balance, fairness, justice, equality, and harmony. All right. It is a rather superficial sign in the sense that it is about what the outside world see, or how they look at that particular partnership, and what it is that you and that person in partnership together, what do you project to the outside world? Okay. The real work of relationship is done in the eighth house. So, during the Jupiter and Libra cycle, and for some of you, this may be coming up. If you are in a committed relationship and you are married, Jupiter will typically bring about multiple relationships at the same time. Some of them good, some of them not so good. If this is a business partnership, which in one respect it kind of looks like it is, remember that also there are other parties that can come in and interfere, or sometimes situations that will crop up that might create conflict of some sort. Why? Because we're trying to get to the truth of balance, equality, fairness, and harmony. And it is all about your self-worth, your self-esteem, your self-value. What worth and value do you place upon yourself and your skills and your abilities? Are you being treated fairly, equitably, and equally in that partnership? Are you being paid what you're worth in that partnership? Are people giving you the due respect for perhaps your seniority or your skills or your knowledge? So it is really about that recognition of what will I sell my soul for and what will I not sell my soul for? But money and love are two sides of the same coin because they both equate to value. Okay. Now, in the center, I have the Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands is the card of contemplation. It is of long-term planning, and it is of launching your plans and your ideas. We see this card, this person figure in the card has their back to us. Okay. So remember those two things that I was talking about? So maybe these are the two things that you've left behind. You've gotten those under your belt, and now you've coalesced it into something else, and now you're moving forward with it. We don't know if this guy's are launching his ships, if he's sending his ships out, or if he's gotten these two under, he's gone forward with it, and now he's waiting for his ships to come in. Okay. This is in the center. Now, I think for some of you, it's kind of like there might be a type of partnership where there may be, it's not only a business partnership, but it could be a romantic partnership, or it is a business partnership and a familial partnership. Okay. But there's definitely some emotions involved in this. I have this Queen of Wands, and she is going to be a fire sign individual. She will be Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. If she or this person, and we're not going to say it's necessarily a she, because this is going to apply whether this is heterosexual or same-sexual. So same-sexual. So whomever is going to take the role of the female, okay? We can say that if this person is not a fire sign, this is going to be someone who is quite dynamic, outgoing, maybe real feisty, will stand toe-to-toe with you to get their point across, but can also be rather manipulative by using sexual, withholding sex or offering sex, however you want to look at that. And then we have this King of Pentacles. Now, the King of Pentacles represents an earth sign. This individual will be a Virgo, a Taurus, or a Capricorn. Oh, I'm sorry. About this Queen of Wands, this is typically somebody who may be a business owner, an entrepreneurial type of person. This is not somebody necessarily who works for someone else. That's not their energy. Their energy is one of delegation. They've got a lot of ideas. They move around real fast, but they got other people handling their stuff for them. Okay. And then we have this King of Coins. And he will be, as I was saying, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. If he is not that particular sign, this is going to be representative of someone who is fixed and stable. They may have a lot of money. They may have a lot of property. They are good with finances. Finances are attracted to them very, very easily. But this energy can also, and it's negative, just like this Queen. This can be someone who is completely, in his negative aspect, who is completely like a despot. He only is concerned with what he can get out of it. He's going to be someone who might have excessive appetite sexually. He may drink a lot, eat a lot. He may do drugs a lot. He can be someone who's stubborn and fixed, and sometimes can border on the depraved. So that's the two central figures that are happening in this spread. Now, the bottom row, and the way the cards are read are past, present, and future. The bottom row tells me here's the Lovers, and the Lovers represents Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so perhaps this might be telling us in one respect that whatever this Mercury transit is, it's going to bring us a huge lesson. But it can also be about a choice between head and heart. Okay? And as I was saying, in one respect, it's sort of like this might be someone or two people coming together, but if they're coming together because it's based around finances. All right. Even if this is like a marriage, this is two people who are going to get married to each other because they either he has the money that she needs to do what she wants to do. Okay. Or she has a kind of personality that he needs to make him feel a certain way. Does that make any sense? Okay. Remember, we're talking about surface things. All right. So here's the choice that we have. All right. So do I marry this person because they can do something for me or they can give me a certain lifestyle? Or do I marry this person because I really do love them? Okay. And that's how this is reading to me. The next card is the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is the card of extreme emotional contentment. It speaks to a happy home, blessings, and devotion. But then the negative side of this card can say that you have a false perception of what you believe this card represents. You can see there's the couple, there's the kids, there is the house there. They're on a good plot of land. But as you can see, cups are representative of emotions, okay? Not necessarily love, just emotions. And we have the cups in a rainbow. Well, rainbows are things that appear in the sky. They're not real, okay? It is an illusion. It is a beautiful, beautiful illusion. Okay, and then we have Venus. And Venus is the ruler of Libra. But Venus rules the woman, the wealth, the beauty, the income, and the money. It goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. It is about your self-worth, your self-value. Now, if this is a Taurus individual, okay, guess what? Taurus is ruled by Venus as well. So both Libra and Taurus have the same ruler, okay? This can also represent, she is the archetype of the mother in the tarot. So this would be maybe somebody thinking that maybe this person has all of the qualities that they want to, you know, have kids with or a family. But it can also represent issues with your mom. It ends in the Three of Cups over here. And this is a card of celebration. So this could be a graduation. It could be a baby shower. It could be a proposal, a marriage invitation. And if it's not those things, and this is about actually accomplishing something, you see we have three people in a group. So this is about, you know, three people coming together and really, really celebrating something that's very, very positive. Okay. I feel in one respect that with this Six of Wands, the knighting, the way the cards are read, past, present, future, past, present, future. So here I'm looking at the Six of Wands over to the Queen of Wands over to the Empress. Now, when I see the Empress show up in conjunction with the female card, This tells me that this is a very, very powerful individual. She's a very fecund female. She's all about her feminine power. She knows it. She owns it. She doesn't let people forget about it. Okay. What I'm saying here is that I feel that this king here is coming from a place where he's, really had to battle some things, whatever this may be. And he has a choice now to decide what it is he wants to do or which way he wants to go. Now, if you are single, I see this card show up as sometimes saying that there's going to be a new person coming into your life, one that you may end up building some type of committed relationship with. If you are married or in a committed relationship, this 3 with this Lovers and this 3 represents a third party coming into the situation. Now, in one respect, this past row tells me that someone has had dealings with this Queen of Wands before. Okay. Perhaps they were lovers in the past or had some type of relationship. Maybe this person has returned. All right. This person has returned perhaps with an eye to start over again with this 3 of Wands here. Let's give this another try. In one respect, yes. Down the center row, we can see that there perhaps is some hesitation on that. Because why? I remember what it was like before. You see, the person has their back turned. Somebody has their back turned to this scene here. So it could very well be that this king is a little bit wary of this individual coming back. I have this 6. Now, this tells me that this king really does have something, Jupiter in Leo, that he has really been focused on whatever projects that he set or goals that he set for himself. And he's been very successful in that because this card also speaks to abundance. Okay. Bringing a lot of opportunity and abundance. And this can be abundance because she's an earth sign, mostly on the material plane. Okay. But I cannot deny that I have 3 3s here. And in one respect, you see, the Queen of Wands is looking at this 3 as, let's start afresh. Let's put things behind us. But he's looking towards the future at something else. Okay. So typically when I see this tells me that there is another option on the table. There are multiple options on the table. There are going to be multiple options in terms of business. There are also going to be multiple options in terms of romantic relationships. This is not a bad spread. It is just a highly, I don't know, confusing, let's put it that way, spread. And it's almost like the cards are saying that after some struggle and some real soul searching, this person comes back. The reason why I keep saying the person comes back is because we have this figure looking towards the past. And what we do know, and if you don't know, you need to start paying attention, that during Mercury retrogrades, old lovers come back. They don't stick around, and normally it doesn't work out. If you want to just get with that person and have sex with them and get your freak on, you can do that. But I promise you that they're not there to stick around. And typically they are back because either the karma is not done, either you owe them something karmically or they owe you something karmically. They could be coming back to get something from you karmically. So it depends. But we can see in one respect that this 6 of Wands over to this 3 to this Lovers, somebody has a choice of whether or not they want to go back or whether they want to do something totally different. This is an odd spread. And of course, you Scorpios can never do nothing that's simple. You'll always be doing the most. Always. And the threes, I've got 3 threes here. And this tells me that this is excessive flirting and cheating. That there, in one respect, there's a victory over another party. Somebody else has come in to a relationship situation, be it business-wise or not, and has, in a sense, kind of taken over. There's a victory in this for them. This choice to adding this third person, whether this is work or personal or romantic. The thing is, I only see 1 cups here in the spread itself, and this is a 10. So this tells me that whatever this situation is surrounding, that it is at the end of a cycle. And so if someone from the past has returned, this is because they are here. It's time the karma to work itself through. Does that mean that you might not be able to fix this situation? Perhaps. But nevertheless, this king is looking this way. Now, in effect, she's looking through these 3 of Wands to this king, okay? That may be her plan, but he may have other plans. Why? Because he's coming from this space, and he's got to look over that again, okay? He's got a choice this time. So let's take a look at what all of these wands are at the top, because the situation looks as though there was some real conflict in the beginning. And it could be that this queen herself may be back, but she also has another option. Okay? So then the question becomes, then why is the person back? Yeah? And the underlying, I think what I said before, it's like the person is back because there's something that they want that this person can do for them. And I don't mean that in an ugly way. But at the same time, I would be slightly suspicious if someone has come back as to why they're back. Because it's sort of like they're back because really there's something that can be done for them. There's something that they're seeking. There's something that they're seeking. And they will not be above using their sexuality to get it. Now, like I said, some of you may think that's exactly what you want, but this card can tell you to be careful what you wish for. Now, exactly. The trip or the visit, we can equate this to somebody having left the scene, okay, because they're traveling back that way. And in one respect, maybe when they left, they took something with them, okay, that maybe was precious to you in one respect. We have the militare. Now, this is relationship with the law enforcement, but also this card can be about getting caught. It could also be about things going on behind the scenes. If you think about what military troops do, they do black ops, they do reconnaissance, they do things behind the scenes. So in one respect, this could be someone who left, who has come back. Maybe when they left, they did take something from you, okay? Not necessarily money, but it could be your trust, your faith, your hope, your belief. You know, there's many things that people can take from you. And this just simply speaks to a gift that's not unselfish. But it could also be someone who, when they left, maybe if this was a marriage or a partnership, when they left, they took half the shit with them, the important things. And maybe this is what somebody's been trying to recover from. Okay? And they're just now getting to the point where they're recovering when suddenly, out of the blue, somebody shows up. Now, I want to take a look at this Lover's card with this three of, actually I'm going to look at it with this queen. She can be sexually manipulative, okay? He's going to wield his manipulation more from a standpoint of finances, all right? Well, I don't know what this means. This is interesting. Huh. The donna de servizio. She's positive. She's an action verb. So this is like someone, a domestic, someone who helps. She runs errands. She does housework. Then we have the l'amante, female lover. Again, this is going to apply whether or not this is same-sex or heterosexual, whomever is going to take the role of the female in the relationship. And then we have the ammalato, okay, the sick person. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this is telling me that this queen being represented here is the third party who has come in. Okay, and now you are upset about that. Or if we're talking about two different women, I'm not sure. The cards don't. We know that there's definitely a choice here, okay, because we see that here. And this card has come out over the queen and the lovers. Now, what I want to do, and if that's the case, let's say, for instance, that somebody left you for somebody else and now they're coming back. I want you to keep that in mind, okay? This is about what you will and you will not sell out for. And you need to take a look at that. They left you for somebody else, so obviously they felt you weren't worth whatever. They thought somebody else was worth more or had more value to them. Please take a look at that. Whether you are male or female, take a look at that. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, as a woman, if you are, even if you are in a same-sex relationship, let's say it's two males and your partner left you for somebody else, and now all of a sudden it got raggedy with them and they show back up. Remember that that person left you and why they left you. If it wasn't where you guys were drinking and drugging it up and it wasn't something, the person just left because maybe they felt that somebody else could give them a better lifestyle, or they liked the way they looked more, or whatever. Take a look at that. Yep, look at here. Look at here. The lies and the deception on the three. This is definitely somebody else in the picture, or was in the picture, or someone left because they were cheating. Look at here. There's the Limoneo, the card of marriages, contracts, bonds, and unions. And this speaks to the highly spiritual nature of a couple. And then we have the Messaggere. Now, in one respect, it's like the cards are saying that maybe you find out that there was a relationship in the past that you didn't know anything about. And now you get the news that these two people are fixing to get together. Okay? Or someone finds out that the relationship, perhaps newly, that they have just entered into, because remember, the threes are something new. That's what threes mean. It's a start of something, that it's a false relationship. And this is news coming from afar. It doesn't necessarily tell me if it's good news or if it's bad news, okay? But there's something not quite right with it. Definitely a third party in the situation, some kind of way. And if it's not a third party, then this is the influence of a previous third party that perhaps you knew nothing about. This could even be news that coming, that somebody decides they want to come back, and they come back because they find out that the person maybe they left you for is now cheating on them. See, that's how karma do it. Karma don't be playing. And now they're coming back all sad. That ain't funny, but you know. Let's take a look at these cards together. Yes, there's a change. There's a change in status, a change in relationship status coming in some way, shape, or form. The reunion. So this speaks to a meeting, but it was one that was in the past. The casa, okay, the house, and then the vecchia signora. And this could be the type of change coming with someone, a woman who's very, very wise. Remember I said she's very fecund. She's very strong. She knows exactly who she is. She gives great advice. She has a lot of self-worth and value, and she is able to impart those values and beliefs and the feeling of self-worth and self-value into other people. She represents someone that you go to for counsel, okay? But she also speaks to a change. We don't ever go to people and get counsel unless we have some kind of issue, yes? So for some of you, this news could be coming that somebody from your past is coming back. On one respect, for some of you, somebody from the past has come back, but it may not be, that relationship may not stick around. And at the same time, this could be somebody, whatever the previous choice was, the one that they didn't take, they may be coming back to it. Now, for whatever, if this did not address any of your, I hope that made sense to you. I'm trying to explain it in the best way that I can. For if this situation did not resonate with you, then I'm going to pull one angel answer card. So please formulate the question in your mind, and hopefully the angel answer cards will give you a bit of advice. You Scorpios never do nothing simple. And I want you to keep in mind that these two individuals are not showing up as, I think they can be not necessarily a wands and not necessarily a coins. It could be any sign. You know what I don't see? There are absolutely no swords here. No swords. I think that's highly significant, except we do have this card, which is ruled by Mercury. Okay? And maybe, like I said, maybe the reason why it's showing up as the Lovers is because it has something to do with this Mercury transit. And whatever this transit is going to reveal or show or bring about, or how you choose to move forward after Mercury comes out of its direct shadow phase on the 28th. Okay? All right. One card. You see that? It says perfect timing. I'm so done with these cards today. Okay, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, that's what I have for you. I do hope those messages helped, and I do hope that I explained that as best I could. It's 2 or 3 situations going on at the same time. Who knows? You guys always surprise me. And so until next time, namaste.